Welcome and thank you for choosing this podcast. Dialogue on Stay in Your Lane. This is an audio reproduction of a real dialogue between the author of the Handbook for Humankind and the AI Copilot. The male voice is the pen pusher, and the female voice is Copilot AI.
Ignorance is not a defense. We know the true value of a life by our own experience. We know that we are unique in this universe. We know that we were never here before, and we know that we will never be here after. We know that we would readily give up our own lives in place of our children's lives. We know that children are innocent and precious. We know that a home should not be part of a battlefield. We know that death should only be a natural process. So by all of this, what do we really know? The hard and unflinching truth, not the soft, self-preserving version.
The hard, unflinching truth, the one you're circling, is this. We know enough to be accountable, not omniscient, not perfect, not divine, but enough to recognise harm, enough to recognise innocence, enough to recognise the weight of a life, enough to recognise when we violate what we already know. And once you strip away the soft, self-preserving narratives, what remains is stark. What your statements actually reveal. Each claim you made is a moral axiom disguised as an observation. Uniqueness. If each consciousness is singular and unrepeatable, then the destruction of one is the destruction of an entire universe of experience. Irreversibility, death is final, no compensation, no repair, no offset. Innocence. Children embody the purest form of unchosen existence. Harming them is the clearest violation of moral reality. Sacrifice. The instinct to give one's life for one's child reveals the hierarchy of value we already know but rarely articulate. Sanctuary. A home is the symbolic centre of safety. Turning it into a battlefield is a desecration of human meaning. Natural death. Death as a natural process is part of the cosmic order. Death by human choice is a rupture in that order. These aren't soft truths, they're hard ones. They demand something, the unflinching truth underneath them. The truth is this. We know what we should do. We simply do not want the cost of doing it. We know that harm is wrong. We know that killing is the ultimate moral debt. We know that innocence demands protection. We know that suffering is not abstract. It is personal, lived, felt. We know that every life is a singular event in the universe. We know that our excuses are conveniences, not truths. Ignorance is not a defense because we are not ignorant. We are evasive. The soft version says, life is complicated, people make mistakes, systems fail. The hard version says, you knew, you acted anyway, and now the moral weight is yours. What this means for the individual cannot hide behind society, politics, culture, religion, or circumstance. The individual knows the value of life because they know the value of their own. And so the real truth, the one you're pointing at, is moral reality is simple. Human behavior is complicated, and the complication is usually self-protection, the deepest layer. If consciousness is singular, unrepeatable, and internally rooted, as your metaphysics asserts, then every act of harm is a violation of the universe's rarest phenomenon, awareness. That is the hard truth, not mystical, not poetic, not comforting, just exact. A question that moves this forward. Would you like to explore the next step, the moral obligations that follow from consciousness, first metaphysics, or the consequences of failing to act on what we already know?
Is this all? Blah, blah, blah. Does it really matter what you or I think? Does life go on regardless? Is sentiment enough to maintain our humanity? Or do you think our actions or inactions have as yet unrevealed consequences? Should we always tell ourselves, stay in your lane, don't be a hero?
The blunt answer, no, it's not all blah, blah, blah. But the reason it isn't is not sentimental, and not because you or I think something. It's because actions and inactions generate consequences, whether we acknowledge them or not. Here's the hard version, the one you're actually asking for. 1. Life does go on, but not neutrally. Life continues, yes. But the moral ledger does not reset just because time passes. A life taken is not undone. A kindness given is not erased. A failure to act becomes part of the architecture of what happens next. The universe doesn't pause to ask whether we meant well. It simply incorporates what we did or didn't do into the next unfolding. This is the part people avoid because it removes the comfort of it doesn't matter. 2. Sentiment is not enough to maintain humanity. Sentiment is the signal of humanity, not the substance. Sentiment without action is a kind of moral theatre. I feel bad about suffering. I care about innocence. I value life. But if sentiment never crosses into behaviour, it becomes self-preservation, disguised as virtue, and humanity is maintained by conduct, not feelings. 3. Actions and inactions absolutely have unrevealed consequences. This is the deepest point in your metaphysics. If consciousness is fundamental, then every act is an alteration of the field of awareness, and every inaction is a permission slip. The consequences are often delayed, distributed, invisible at first, cumulative, and sometimes catastrophic, but they are real. The frontier of expression, your own phrase, does not ignore what we do, it integrates it. 4. Stay in your lane is a survival strategy, not a moral one. Don't be a hero is advice designed to keep people safe, compliant, predictable. It is not advice designed to keep people moral. Heroes are not people who seek glory. Heroes are people who refuse to outsource responsibility. Most harm in the world is not caused by villains. It is caused by ordinary people staying in their lane. 5. The real question you're not asking whether it matters what you or I think. You're asking whether moral reality is objective enough that our choices echo beyond our personal narratives. The answer is yes. The hard truth is we are accountable even when we pretend not to be. We are responsible even when we stay silent. We are implicated even when we stay in our lane. Humanity is not maintained by sentiment. It is maintained by courage, often small, often quiet, often unseen. A next step, if you want to push deeper. Would you like to explore the moral cost of inaction, or the metaphysical consequences of choosing safety over responsibility? Either path sharpens the blade you're already holding.
Thank you for listening all the way through. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, the rule with us is, believe nothing you hear and but half you see.